Hello, thanks so much for joining me today. This is part 2 of my video series on the history of Metamorphose tome des filles. Thank you so much to everyone who liked and commented on part 1. It really means a lot to me that so many people enjoyed it because these videos take a lot of work to put together, so I'm just really glad that people seem to be enjoying them. I just wanted to give a brief sort of refresher on what this video series is. It's meant to serve as an overview of Meta as a brand and a way for me to learn more about my favorite brand, which happens to be Meta. I started following Lolita in about 2013, 2014, so I don't have a lot of first-hand experience or knowledge before that time. If you have any corrections or added context that you would like to add, please feel free to leave it in the comments. I'd love to read about it. This is not a comprehensive review. We're just focusing on original print series. That was my way of sort of thinning the herd of topics to discuss. If we were talking about non-printed series, this video would be 7 times longer, and this video is already going to be quite long. So I just tried to focus only on original prints. Some series may have been cut out by mistake. I just didn't see them, or I didn't realize that they were an original print, or if I didn't feel like they were a good fit for the series, I will just cut them out. The series are loosely chronologically ordered. I sorted them by year, but not by exact release order, because honestly that would have been a lot more work that I was not exactly willing to do. If pieces from a series were released over multiple years, I'm putting them together under the initial release year, and then I'm going to be giving my thoughts on each series and sharing any interesting facts attached to them. I'm a plus size Lolita, so if I see something that might be plus size or that I know is plus size, I will definitely shout that out. And then lastly, many thanks to Low Library for making this video series possible. Without their dedication and research and tons of work, this video series would not be possible, because I use them as a jumping off point and a way to find out about each of these series, like that they exist. So I really appreciate all the work they do. I support them on Patreon. If you are able, I really recommend doing so as well, since they do such a great service to this community, and I really think it's good to give back when you can. But yeah, thanks so much. To start, I just want to give some notes about this part of the series. I'm going to be discussing different versions of Meta's website for each year. The feature on the website Gogo Lolita-chan was added to the Meta website in 2003, but I'm going to be introducing it with the 2004 website because most of the images on the 2003 version are like completely broken, and it's really hard to navigate. The versions of the website from 2004 to 2007 are all more or less the same, just like with differences in the listings and the content, obviously. So I'm going to be splitting up different areas of interest on the website across each year. And we're going to kick things off with 2004. The version of the website that Meta used from 2004 to 2007 is one of my favorite iterations of the site. I think it has so much charm and so much character, and it's definitely a product of its time, which makes it very nostalgic to me, even though I wasn't using the site back then. This is the Japanese homepage, and you can see in pink towards the top there's a link to the English version of the site, which is what we're going to be mostly focusing on today. This is the English homepage. It's a little bit different in terms of design, but also very cute and very nostalgic. There's a lot of different tabs there on the right, and we're going to be discussing the tabs for Gogo Lolita-chan and the FAQ section in this year. First up for Gogo Lolita-chan was Pictures of You and Us. Under Pictures of You, you could see a world map that had certain countries highlighted in hot pink. If you clicked on one of these countries, you would get to see photos of Metamorphose customers from that country. From what I've heard from people who were a Lolita during this time period, Being in this section was really highly coveted and very exciting if you got the chance to be featured on the Meta website. I so wish that this feature was still on the website today because I would absolutely have contributed if it were. I think it's so cute that they're featuring different Lolitas from around the world, and it really shows that even back then, Meta was really focused on the global community in addition to the Japanese community. Then beneath it, there was Pictures of Us, which featured coordinates made by Metamorphose staff using Metamorphose items. When you clicked on each one, it would give you the details on all of the items used and the height of the model who is wearing it. This is a great source of coordinate inspo, and just so many of these coordinates are amazing and cute and creative, so I really recommend clicking through if you have some time. Additionally, if during discussions of a particular series I say, this item was used in coordinate number XYZ, I'm referring to this because all of the coordinates are numbered. Next up is the news section. This section was dedicated to discussing news surrounding the brand whenever they were featured in a magazine or maybe an event they were going to. Things like that could be found here. On this day, they discussed that Meta was featured in Goth Volley Volume 3 and Gothic and Lolita Bible Volume 4. They talked about how Kato-san had made some patterns to contribute to the magazine. That way you can make something yourself based on a Meta design. I think that's really cool, and I'd love to track down a Gothic Lolita Bible or another magazine that has Meta patterns in it. I would absolutely love to own something like that. Then we had the tidbits section, which was more like opinion pieces and guides and stuff like that. It wasn't specifically news, it was meant to be more informative. On this day, they were featuring articles about bloomers and petticoats, what they were and why you should wear them. They also had one on how to tie your waist ties, and then a profile on a Metamorphose staff member from the Osaka store named Haruka-chan. These are all really fun reads, all very nostalgic, so I definitely recommend clicking through if you have a chance. And then the last section of Gogo Lolita-chan was the Metamorphose lovely characters, which were just brief little introductions to Metamorphose's mascots Punkuma and Rabbit-chan. They also had little downloads, that way you could have icons of the characters, which I think is super cute. Definitely just a fun little section. Lastly, I want to discuss the FAQ section because there is some interesting tidbits on this page. They discuss international shipping, they discuss currency, they talk about returning and exchanging products. They even offer banners that you could add to your personal site or blog if you wanted to link to the Meta site. But what I really want to hone in on is this first question that says, do you make other size? And then they reply, sorry, we only have one size, but we're thinking about making other sizes right now. So, as you may know, Metamorphose is one of few Japanese brands that offers multiple sizes and that offers inclusive sizing today. And it's interesting to note that they were considering this all the way back in 2004. First up from 2004, we have the Ballerina Print series. This series included 3 JSKs, 3 skirts, and 1 OP. It came in 2 colorways, black and gray. To be quite honest, I don't love this series, specifically because I don't love the print artwork. It has the feeling of commercially available fabric to me, and that's not necessarily a bad thing because there are lots of commercially available fabrics that are very cute, but to me, it sort of lacks that special spark that a lot of custom Lolita prints have, so it doesn't especially appeal to me, but if you like it, I understand. I think that a lot of the pieces from this series are quite cute and versatile, especially because of how the garments were constructed. First up is the plain JSK, which has a non-printed bodice and a printed skirt. Normally, I don't enjoy this type of JSK cut, but I think because the print is so simple, it feels balanced somehow. Like, despite my feelings about the print and about this type of JSK, when I look at it, my gut reaction is this is cute. So I think Meta did a good job of understanding the print and how they made this JSK. Next up is the shirring JSK, which is more of a simple sundress cut with 2 layers of lace on the trim. I do think that those 2 layers of lace do help to give it a more Lolita feel, since otherwise it is quite simple. I can see this being a very versatile piece that you could wear either casually or in Lolita. Then we have the shirring 3-tier sundress JSK, which lacks the 2 layers of lace from the previous cut, but I think the tiered skirt sort of gives that classic Lolita silhouette in a way that still makes it both versatile for casual and Lolita wear. This and the previous shirring JSK are both fully shirred, so they are potentially plus size friendly, if not plus size friendly, at least more forgiving than other dresses of their time. So if you have any information on how either of them fit, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. Then we have the waist lace-up OP. Honestly, I really like the cut of this OP. I think if it were a non-printed release or a different print, I would consider buying it. I really like the mix of the corseted waist with the Peter Pan collar. It has a simultaneous like casual and fancy feeling that I think would make it really versatile. Then we have the 3 skirt cuts, the tiered skirt, the plain skirt, and the elastic waist plain skirt. The elastic waist plain skirt and the tiered skirt were both fully shirred, so again, if you have any information on how either of them fit, I'd love to hear about it. Of the 3 skirt cuts, the tiered skirt is my favorite. I think it has the most details that give it a quintessential Lolita feeling, so I think that's why I'm most drawn to it. Next up is the Carousel Horse Print series. This series included a JSK, skirt, cardigan, and a bag. I honestly love this series. I think it's very iconic as far as meta screen prints go. There aren't very many of them compared to other brands, so I think that the ones that we do have should be treasured. I'm surprised that I like this print series as much as I do, because honestly, I have a personal aversion to hearts, and this series features them quite prominently, but I think the cuteness of the carousel horses won me over and distracts me from them. I also really enjoy that the series is quite simple. With a lot of carousel and carnival themed prints, they're quite extravagant both in terms of the print artwork and in how the garments are constructed, so it's hard to wear those themes in day-to-day life, but I could definitely see myself wearing any item from this print series to the grocery store. You know, it's still fun, it's still kitschy, but it's very casual, which I enjoy. First up is the JSK. This one was featured in Cara Volume 71, and it came in black, pink, and ivory. I really enjoy how simple this cut is for the reason that I stated earlier. Of the 3 colorways, I think I prefer black the most. Next up is the skirt cut. This one came in black, pink, and sax. Of the 3 colorways, personally, I prefer the sax, I think, although they are all cute. And like I said earlier, just the simplicity of this cut lends it to a lot of versatility, which I really appreciate. Next up is the embroidery cardigan with pearl beads and the bag. The cardigan was featured in GLB number 14. I really enjoy the pearl bead details. I think it's so cute. I love cardigans that have those extra little special touches that set them apart from like a standard cardigan. So if this fit me, I would definitely be going after it. Alas, I don't think it would. The bag I would actually love to own. I love totes that have lace trim and ribbons. It just gives it that like special Lolita feeling that a lot of other tote bags don't have. So I would definitely pick that up if I saw it secondhand. Next up is the Maiden series. This series included a JSK, skirt, yukata, bag, and comb. They came in 2 colorways, black and red. This style of print that's sort of checkerboard-like has been done by Meta a few times in the past, so I do strongly associate it with the brand, and I think that this iteration of that print style is quite cute. I really love the font they used for Metamorphose and all of the retro girly elements that are sprinkled throughout the print. I think it gives it a really cute and kitschy feeling. I don't know that I would personally own any of the main pieces from this series, but if Meta re-released it, I would definitely consider it. First up is the JSK cut. I really enjoyed the ladder lace collar on this print and the 2 layers of lace that are near the trim of the skirt. I think it has a really simple and almost cottagecore-esque feeling that could definitely be corded in a traditional Lolita way or in a more casual way, so it definitely has the versatility factor. Next up is the skirt. Again, there's not much going on here, it's quite simple, but I do think that makes it pretty versatile because you could just focus on the print and not really worry about clashing elements in the design of the skirt itself. Then we have the yukata, which came in 3 sizes, small, medium, and tall. I don't think I would fit into any of them, but I do think that owning a Meta printed yukata would be pretty iconic, to be honest. Lastly is the ribbon comb. Nothing much to say here, it's just a ribbon comb in matching fabric. There was also a drawstring bag from this series, but I actually couldn't find any photos of it, so I guess we'll just use our imaginations. Then we have the Poodle series from 2004. This was an applique/embroidery print that I just adore. I think it is so cute, but so well done. The little details of the way the print was made, like the little ribbon on the poodle's ear, make it so special to me. This series included a JSK, a skirt, a parka, socks, a bag, and an umbrella, and it came in 3 colorways, black, pink, and off-white. First up is the JSK cut, which I adore. I've never seen a JSK constructed in this way, where the bust sort of is cut above the chest and has corset lacing on top. I think it's really cute and really unique. I also think that despite the way it's constructed, it's still quite simple and sort of leads the eye to focus on the print, which I think is a job well done from a design standpoint. I would absolutely love to own this JSK someday. Then we have the skirt cut, which I think definitely has a 1950s feeling, which I imagine is what they were going for. I love the striped hem, I think that's really cute, and I don't typically consider buying skirts that are not fully shirred because it's kind of a hassle to get them altered, but I do think that this skirt is worth it to me. Then we have the parka, which was featured in GLB 14. Again, I just love this series. I would love to own this parka. I just think it's adorable. And yeah, what more can I say? It's kind of perfect. Then we have the accessories that went with this series, the bag, the knee socks, and the umbrella. I would own the bag or the umbrella if I saw it come up for sale, regardless of whether or not I owned a main piece from this series, because I love this series so much and I think they are so cute. The knee socks are also very cute to me, but I don't know if I would go out of my way to buy them since a lot of Meta's older socks don't personally fit me, but again, I do think they are quite cute. And the last series from 2004 is Playing Card Applique. This series included a JSK, skirt, and jewelry. The JSK was featured in GLB 15, as was the skirt, and the 2 colorways were black and red tartan. I really enjoy this series. I'm a sucker for applique prints, as was previously discussed, and I think that the way that the garments in this series were constructed is simple enough to lead the eye towards the print, which again is just good design in my opinion. I really love the simplicity of this JSK. I think it could definitely be worn in a simple way, a casual way, but also in a more dressed up or in a punk way, which I really enjoy. Then we have the skirt, which similar to the JSK, I feel like could be styled in a lot of different ways because of its simplicity, and it really allows the print to shine. Then lastly is the accessories, which I believe was a necklace and a bracelet. I would honestly love to own either of these. Meta jewelry doesn't come up secondhand very often, I feel, but if I saw these ones for a good price, I would definitely pick them up. Alright, it's time for 2005. It's actually been 2 months since I recorded the first part of this video, so apologies if I sound a little bit different. The website from 2005 is more or less the same in terms of format as the previous year, but I did want to point out how cute the Japanese homepage and how cute the English homepage are. But in this section, I really want to focus on the shop itself within the website because I think it's really unique and has a lot of charm that's characteristic of the era. So as you can see, as you mouse over different categories on the website, it'll show like a PNG of an example of something that's on sale in that section. I think that's so cute and charming and definitely feels very nostalgic to other websites of the time for me. Then you can actually see a sort of similar function once you open a specific category. In this case, we're looking at dresses. So as you can see here, once you mouse over the name of a dress, it shows a transparent PNG of the dress. I just think that's really cute and really charming. I'm not gonna lie, I did go through every section of the website on the Wayback Machine just to mouse over the different things because I was so amused by it. First up from 2005 is Cherry Print. This series was a screen printed release and it included a skirt, cutsew, and bag. First up is the gingham skirt, which came in black and dark pink. I really enjoy this skirt. I think it is so simple and cute. I could definitely be worn casually. There's a little rhinestone detail on the screen print that I think is such a cute little detail. So I don't know that I would personally buy this one just because I'm not huge into cherries as a fruit motif, but I do think that this series is absolutely adorable. Next up is the cutsew and the tote bag. They also featured rhinestone details on the screen print, so I think that's super cute. The cutsew is actually really adorable to me. If there was any chance I could fit it, I would definitely consider picking up the cutsew. I think it's really cute and really well done. Next up is Lovely Alphabet, which I think is just one of Meta's most iconic series. I absolutely adore this print. The artwork of the print, for whatever reason, they kind of remind me of Rankin Bass typography and illustrations that are used in those movies. I just really love how cute and kitschy and retro it is. I would love to own any item from this series in any of the colorways, really. I just think it is absolutely adorable. This series included 3 skirts, 2 JSKs, an OP, a bag, socks, and a KC. The colorways were black, pink, and sax, and like I said, it's just absolutely iconic. Ugh, this is totally a dream print for me. First up is the Shirring Sundress JSK. This is potentially plus size friendly because it is fully shirred. I don't know anyone who has owned it, so I can't personally vouch to that. But what I will say is that I think this dress is so cute. I think sometimes shirring JSKs can suffer for the fact that they're not as detailed in the bodice, but I think the rows of ladder lace on the tiered skirt with ribbons on the end really make up for it. I think this is such a cute piece and I would absolutely love to own it. This sundress JSK actually does feature a built-in petticoat, so that's a nice bonus as well. Next up is the scalloped JSK, which is perhaps my favorite JSK in terms of cut. This one also features a built-in petticoat, and I'm a sucker for anything with scallops. I just think this is absolutely adorable. I really can't get over how cute this JSK is. I also really love JSKs that it's one continuous piece of fabric. There's not a separate bodice and skirt, so it kind of has this rounded flow. I think that's really appealing and really works for this JSK. But yeah, I love this one. Honestly, I would consider buying this and having it altered because I like it so much. Next up is the short sleeve OP, just another absolute banger. This is so cute. I love the detachable yoke. This one also features a built-in petticoat. I honestly would also consider buying this and having it altered someday down the line because it is absolutely adorable. Next up is the plain skirt and the medium skirt. Both of these feature built-in petticoats and are more or less the same cut, the only difference really being length. Honestly, the construction isn't really anything to write home about. They're both very simple. That makes them good for casual wear though. And because the print is so iconic, if I ever saw either of them go up for a good price, I definitely would consider picking them up. Lastly is the scallop skirt. This is the only main piece in this series that I don't have confirmation that it has a built-in petticoat. Part of me believes that it's likely that it has a built-in petticoat just because every other main piece has had a built-in petticoat, but I don't have like absolute confirmation on that, so let's assume it doesn't. I do think that this is the cutest skirt in the series and that it is absolutely adorable. Like I said earlier, I'm weak for scallops, and this one is just, it's so perfect. I also love that the polka dot trim on the bottom of the skirt is repeated at the bow, at the waist. It's all meshing together so well. It's coming together so nicely. I just think this one is 10 out of 10. Then we have the accessories from this series, which were a tote bag, OTKs, and the ribbon headdress. The tote bag, honestly, I would love to own, so if I ever saw that, I would definitely go for it. And if I did own a main piece, I would want the matching headdress. But I do want to talk about these socks. I think these socks are so stinking cute. A lot of Meta's older socks wouldn't fit me, so I wouldn't pick these up. But if they did fit me, I would definitely be hunting for them. It's just Metamorphose spelled out top to bottom, and I think that is so cute. Next up is swan embroidery. As the name implies, this is an embroidered print which included a JSK and a coat. The JSK came in black and off-white. I unfortunately don't have any photos of the black colorway. You also can't really see the embroidery that well on these older photos of the white colorway, so sorry about that. The shoulder ruffles and the hem tool were removable and the waist ties were sewn in, so you actually could not remove them. From what I can see of these sort of low-res photos, I do think this is a really cute release. I love the triple bows down the bodice. I love the scallop hem, and I think this is a really cute, like, just basic old school piece. I don't know that I personally would buy it, but I do think that it's really pretty. You can actually see the print a little bit better on the coat, so I think the embroidery is actually really gorgeous. I love anything Metamorphose themed, anything swan themed, and I love the little floral details on the diamond exterior of the swans. It's just a really simple, elegant embroidery that I think would work well for a lot of different coordinates. I have linebacker shoulders, so Lolita coats do not typically work for me, but in a different universe where I have narrow shoulders, I would definitely go after this coat because I think it is so gorgeous. The colorways for the coat are, as you can see, black and black X off-white. I just really love this design, and I also love the scalloped hem. It's so cute. Alright, moving on to 2006. The homepage, both in Japanese and in English, is more or less the same as previous years. I do want to pause on the English homepage for 2006 though, at least during this time of year, because I love this photo. I associate Meta very strongly with Sailor Lolita because they do basically release a new Sailor dress almost every year. I'm pretty sure they have for a long time, and I just think this photo is absolutely adorable. The section of the website that I want to focus on for 2006 is the coordinated looks section. There was actually two portions under this section. First was tips from our designer Kato. This was Kato-san's blog where you could read advice, stories, styling tips, and updates on new releases. I really recommend reading this section. It's such an interesting time capsule of this part of the brand's history, and you get to really know Kato-san through her blog entries. I really recommend it. On the left sidebar, you can see illustrated coordinates, and then they're like numbered. These were coordinate illustrations done by Kato-san, and they are so worth checking out if you have the time. This art is lovely. I really adore it, and I really love the designs that she came up with for these illustrations. Just 10 out of 10. Excellent coordinate inspiration and artistic inspiration as well. This is just such a wealth of inspiration, and I really recommend checking it out. Then we had this week's style, which were new coordinates posted regularly by Metamorphose staff using Metamorphose items, and they sort of fell into different themes, different concepts for the coordinates. Here you can see they had a marine Lolita and a princess coordinate. I really love this section. Also, excellent coordinate inspiration. I really recommend checking it out as well. Alright, first up for 2006 we have Poodle/Ribbon Poodle. I'm fairly certain that all of the items I'm about to show are from the same series, but because the names vary, I've just put both above in case they actually are separate series. This series included 2 JSKs, 2 skirts, 3 cutsews, a cardigan, 2 umbrellas, a tote bag, and a ring. And the reason why I'm saying 2 JSKs and 2 skirts, even though as you'll see there's only 1 cut of each, there was actually polka dot and solid versions of each main piece. The 2 colorways for the polka dot version were Black X White and Off-White X Red, and the 1 colorway for the solid version was Black X White. I also want to note that this was a flocked print. I'd say overall this is sort of a middle of the road release for me. I don't love the artwork, but I do enjoy dog prints like by nature, and I really like sort of like 1950s kitschy aesthetics in Lolita, so it wins some points for that, but it's not quite doing it for me. First up is the JSK, which was fully shirred. It could potentially be plus size friendly, but I can't personally vouch to that, so if you have any information about how it fits in the comments, please let us know. I like the ribbon ties on the shoulders. I think it gives it a good like sort of summer dress feeling, but otherwise I don't have much to say about it. Next up is the skirt. This is my preferred of the 2 main pieces. I think it really embodies the like 1950s poodle skirt aesthetic. I think the heart buckle on the belt and the tulle like trim really add to that effect, and I think it sort of elevates the print and makes it even cuter. So I actually really like this one. Then we have the cardigan, which was featured in GLB 21. This cardigan came in black, off-white, and pink, and if there was any chance it would fit me, I would definitely go after it. I love dog motifs in Lolita, and I think this is a really solid sort of cardigan to have just outside of this series. I think if you have any poodle print, this would probably work really well as long as the colors matched. So I think this would be a great builder piece for anyone's wardrobe that includes dogs. Then we have the t-shirt. I really like this t-shirt. It kind of has like a, like, you know those t-shirt artists on like boardwalks? It has that feeling to me. It's very casual, and I really like it when brands come out with simpler, more mainstream items that could be worn even outside of Lolita. That way you can take a little piece of brand with you even when you're not wearing the fashion. I just think it's really cute. Then we have the tank top, which is more or less the same as the t-shirt, just sans sleeves. Again, really cute, nice and casual, not too much to say here. Then we have the knit camisole. Unfortunately, I don't have any images of the item itself to show, but you can kind of get an idea of what it was meant to look like through this design document. Knit camisoles are not something I see very often in Lolita, so I am kind of intrigued by what it is in essence. I think that could be a cool item to bring back if anyone wants to take up the challenge. I think it just sounds cute based on the name, but I don't really know exactly what it looked like. Next up is the umbrella. It came in black and white and white X black. It was actually UV protective as well as being able to be used for rain. Again, I think it's super cute, and for anyone who has like dog prints in their wardrobe, I think this would be a great addition. There was actually another umbrella from this series called the Rain umbrella, and that was not UV protective. It was like made of clear vinyl or plastic. I unfortunately don't have any photos of that one, but according to the listings, it had two colorways, one with a pink piping trim and one with a black piping trim. Next up is the tote bag and the ring. The tote bag came in three colorways, the same as the tank top and the t-shirt, and it has the same artwork as them as well. I think, again, it's a solid like wardrobe staple piece for anyone who has a lot of poodle prints. So if that were me, I would definitely look into getting it. The ring, you can't really see that well because this image is kind of low res. It's hard to find good images of this ring, but if you look up Meta secondhand, I actually do see this ring come up for sale fairly often. So if you're interested, I would check that out. The ring was made of 925 sterling silver, and it came in three ring sizes, 10, 13, and 15. I don't know my ring size. I've never had a reason to because all of the rings I own for Lolita are adjustable. So I have no idea if this would fit me, but if those are your ring sizes, congratulations, you're in luck. Next up is polka dot ribbon embroidery. As the name suggests, this was an embroidered print, and the series included a skirt, jacket, and parka, and two colorways, black and pink. I love this series. I love bows as a motif, and part of what I really like about this series, outside of that, is that the items really walk the line between Lolita and like mainstream fashion. I think they would be great for casual cords or punk cords, but also could definitely be worn outside of Lolita for just a cute outfit. I think they're very utilitarian in that sense, but still maintain some of like spirit and flair of Lolita. I would definitely love to own any piece from this series. First up is the skirt. It had a heart pocket on the back and then a pom-pom trim. I love the details. I think it's so cute. So again, I would definitely look into buying this someday if it ever came up. I unfortunately don't have any photos of the jacket available, but I do have some images of the parka, which I think are just as cute as the skirt. I love Lolita hoodies. I think they're so comfy and casual and a great way to sort of dress down a cord for daily life. I love both colorways, and yeah, all around a good release. Next up is Melody Note. This series included 3 JSKs, 2 skirts, and a jacket, and it came in 3 colorways, black, off-white, and red. I love this series. There are so many great designs within it, and I definitely think that the print is sort of iconic to Meta. You can see that it was actually the cover of their catalog for the 2006 Autumn-Winter collection. All around, it's a great print. I think it works well for a lot of different like levels of styling. I think you could wear it casually or OTT. It's definitely a versatile print in that sense, and even though I have yet to own any music note prints, I really love that motif in Lolita, and I would love to in the future. First up is the JSK with belt. I think this JSK has a really nice simple feeling. It could almost be worn outside of Lolita and you wouldn't like necessarily know that it was Lolita. I really like the belt with the buckle. I think it has a really nice 50s/60s retro feeling. All around, I think it's just a good solid JSK. But then we move on to the high waist JSK, which I think is even cuter. Again, it's still fairly simple. The main focus is the print itself, but the lacing on the bodice with the double frills at the hem and the bows, I just think it has those nice little extra details that make Lolita Lolita, and it's just super cute to me. If I ever saw it for a good price, I would definitely consider it. But then we have what is actually my favorite JSK from this series. I love the bustle JSK. I love the tulle trim around the neckline and the little mini bows. I love mini bows in Lolita. I also am always a sucker for a bustle. I just think all around this is such a great JSK. And part of what I really like about it is that it has a mixture of elements that I think we would consider old school and what we would consider like modern Lolita. You can really tell that this was sort of a transitional period in the fashion through this piece, and I really appreciate that. Next up is the skirt. Not too much going on here in terms of design aside from the hem, but I think that would make it good for casual cords or wearing outside of Lolita. I could definitely see someone like wearing this at Christmas time, just to like a holiday party. But yeah, good solid skirt. Then we have the lace-up skirt, which is definitely my favorite of the two skirts. I love lace-up details on skirts. There's something that feels quintessentially Lolita about it. And I also feel that, like, especially with the black or the off-white colorways, you could definitely cord them in a sort of punk style because of the lacing. It just has a little bit of an edge to it that I really appreciate. And then last but certainly not least, we have the biker style jacket. This is my favorite piece in this series. I love it when Lolita brands make biker jackets. It's such a fun juxtaposition of masculine styling with feminine styling. And if I ever saw this come up secondhand, I would not buy it because I know it would not fit my shoulders, but I would definitely pore over the images and appreciate it. And moving on, we have one of my favorite series that we'll be discussing today, Pankuma Camouflage. This is sort of a divisive print in Meta's history. Some people are not a fan of camo in Lolita, but I personally am a big fan of it, and I am especially a big fan of this particular print because, as you can see in the print artwork here, it's not like random shapes. It's actually overlays of the outlines of Pankuma and Rabichchang, which are Metamorphose's mascots. So I think that's such a fun little detail to add to this print. It definitely makes it feel uniquely meta, and I'm so in love with this series. It included 1 JSK, 1 OP, 3 skirts, a jumpsuit, pants, a blouse, a jacket, a bustier, a hat, and a tie. And it was also made of like a canvas material, which I feel that you don't see too often in Lolita. The 3 colorways were blue, black, and pink. First up is an all-time great, the biker jacket style JSK. This is without a doubt one of my favorite designs that Meta has ever produced. Like I was saying with the biker jacket earlier, I love the juxtaposition of like masculine and feminine elements. I can't get over how stinking cool this JSK is. Like, I think if I ever saw it in person, I would like have no choice but to like drop to my knees. It's so freaking cool. I'm babbling at this point because I love this JSK so much. I also want to note that another great element of this JSK is that the front could actually be unzipped, so you could layer a skirt underneath it. So there's definitely a lot of versatility there. Next up, we have the high waist OP. I love this OP for similar reasons, but sort of opposite reasons as the biker jacket JSK. It also has a sort of merging of masculine and feminine styles, but in this case, it's that the camouflage is masculine, but the actual design of the OP is very feminine. You can see that there's like a choker, there's tons of ruffles and ribbons all over it. It is so cute. Similar to the biker jacket JSK, the front was button up so you could layer stuff underneath of it, making it really versatile. It also came with a separate petticoat and a choker. I love this OP. Again, if I ever saw it come up secondhand, I would definitely go after it. Then we have the tuck skirt. I think this is a really nice solid skirt. I think the like pleats in the skirt give it a sort of military feeling. So I could definitely see somebody making a military Lolita cord or a punk cord using it. There's not too much for me to say in terms of the design because it is fairly simple, but it is undeniably cute. Next up is the side pocket skirt, which is probably my favorite skirt from this series. It definitely ups the military feeling with the like buckles on top and the detached pocket. It was also button up, so you could layer things underneath of it. I just really love the details of this skirt. Something about it is just undeniably cool to me. Then we have the hem frill skirt. This is more of a like non-Lolita style, I would say. You definitely couldn't fit a petticoat under this. So it seems to have been more for like wear outside of Lolita. All the same, I love the print. I love the belt with the buckle. I think this is a really solid piece. And it's something that I definitely would wear outside of Lolita. Then we have the long sleeve jumpsuit. This is so cool. I love Meta's jumpsuits. I would love to own one someday. I have actually been lucky enough to see this piece in person once, and I did fangirl over it. It is so freaking cool. The jumpsuit actually came in 2 sizes, medium and tall, which I believe refer more to like the height than the width. So I don't believe that this is really plus size friendly, but I do think it is undeniably cool all the same. Next up is the short sleeve stadium jacket. I'm so sad that I was cursed with broad shoulders because I would give anything to wear this jacket. I keep saying that this series is cool, but I don't know how else to describe it. There's like a glitter print on the back of the jacket that says Metamorphose Temple de Fille. There's this emblem patch on the front that is super cute. All around, everything about this is great. It can definitely be worn in Lolita, outside of Lolita. It's an amazing, versatile piece. I just want to give a little close-up on the patch itself because I think the design is so cute. As you can see on the patch, there's actually outlines of Pankuma and Rabichang, which ties into the print. It's all around excellent. Then we have the short sleeve blouse. I think, again, it plays really well into a mixture of masculine and feminine styles. And if there was any chance it would fit me, I would definitely go after it because I think it would pair really well with either of the skirts and would be just iconic all around. Then we have the bustier. This bustier, again, is really cute. It really blends masculine and feminine style as well. And I think if paired with one of the skirts would give a really fun, like, sort of rebellious feeling. Then we have what is perhaps the star of the show in this whole series, the 10-gallon hat. Are you kidding me? Like, it just simply doesn't get better than a cowboy hat from a Japanese brand in camo, where the camo is the outline of rabbits and bears. Like, it just doesn't get better than this. If I ever saw this come up, I don't care what the price is, I'm going for it. Last but not least is the Pankuma and Rabichang necktie. I love mini ties in Lolita. I think they work really well for a lot of different sort of themings. You could go for like a school theme or a more punk theme. Either way, I think this necktie is really cute, and if I had any of the main pieces, I would definitely want it. And coming back down to earth and to more standard Lolita, we have Cafe Teddy Appliqué. This is one of my favorite older meta series. I absolutely adore this print. Like, I've bid on it a couple of times and have not yet been successful in securing it, but I'm gonna keep trying. Every time I look at this little teddy bear, his little chair with his little cup and saucer, I like want to cry. It's so sweet. There's absolutely nothing wrong with this print. It is perfection to me. This series included a JSK, a skirt, a parka, and a parasol. It was also made of wool, so I probably won't get to wear it much if I ever do get my hands on it since I live in a hot climate. There were 4 colorways, as you can see here: black, off-white, gray tartan, and red tartan. First up is the JSK. I love JSKs with this type of cut where the poof is very modest, but there's not like a separated bodice and skirt. It sort of all flows together very nicely. I think this is so cute. I could definitely see myself wearing this like for the holidays. I think it's just really simple but like perfect in its simplicity. It also has a pom-pom trim, and I love a pom-pom trim. Next, we have the skirt with bloomers. As the name suggests, there was a skirt. It also came with matching bloomers, which I think is good value. I love the skirt. I love that it's button up. That way you can layer things underneath. I think it's all around very simple and cute, similar to the JSK. Next up is the velour parka. As the name suggests, this one was made of a velour material rather than wool. Because velour is stretchy, I could probably delude myself into thinking that it would fit my shoulders, but I must remain strong and save this for somebody who can actually get some use out of it, because I think this parka is absolutely lovely. Such a cute piece. And instead of the other colorways for the main pieces, this one actually came in 3 different colors: black, off-white, and wine. And lastly, we have the umbrella, which if I ever saw this secondhand, I'm throwing bows. It's a bloodbath. I need this umbrella. It is so cute. It came in 2 colorways, black and white, and I love both of them so much. I'd take either of them. It is perfect to me. Next up, we have cat print, and I actually do have an interesting anecdote to share about this series. At Fanime 2023, 2 of Metamorphose's design staff actually took part. They did a couple of panels, and one of the panels was called Metamorphose Favorite Item Designer Commentary. You can still watch it on YouTube. I believe Floris Astorum is the one who translated the panel, and it's viewable on Bay Area K's YouTube channel. I'll link it below if I remember. Anyways, in this panel, Metamorphose's current designer Tyra mentions that she actually proposed the idea for this print and did the initial sketches when she was still an assistant at the brand. She was inspired by 4-koma manga for the format of the print and wanted to tell a story from a fixed perspective where you're sort of viewing a cat wander in and out of a doorway. First up is the JSK. This is such a lovely but simple JSK. I think it works really well for OTT styling or for simple styling. I love the triple bows down the bodice and the like ribbon piping at the neckline and at the hem. If I ever saw this JSK for a good price, I would definitely consider getting it. I would definitely say that it's on my wish list, but not the highest priority. It's the same situation for the skirt, which I also think is very cute and very simple. Could definitely be dressed up or dressed down. I actually think of all of the colorways, I love the gray the most, surprisingly. I'm not typically drawn to gray prints, but I think the manga feeling definitely is conveyed the most through the gray colorway. 2006 is just full of iconic releases because next up we have Sweets Collection. I adore this series. I've been trying to get my hands on it for actually years, and I haven't been successful yet, but I'm not giving up. This series included 2 OPs, 2 JSKs, 2 skirts, a kutso, 3 hair accessories, a tote, and 2 bathing suits. There were actually 3 colorways: black, pink, and off-white. First up, we have the Shirring Tiered OP and the Shirring Tiered Princess OP. Both of them are fully shirred and potentially plus size friendly. If you have any information on how they fit, again, please let us know in the comments. The main difference between the Tiered OP and the Princess OP is that the Princess OP has more like lace frills, but the cut of both is more or less the same. I think they are both adorable. I'd love to own either of them, and yeah, I think they really suit the print. Next up is the circular JSK. As the name suggests, this is a circle skirt cut. Meta has actually released quite a few circle skirt cut JSKs over the years, so it definitely seems to be a theme for the brand. I think this is a really lovely, simple JSK that could definitely be dressed up or dressed down. I love it in all of the colorways. I just think it's really nice, simple, and lovely. Next up is the high waist JSK. If I'm being honest with myself, This is probably my preferred of the two JSKs, even though I think they're both cute. I just really love the added detail in this JSK cut, like the ruffles at the hem, all of the bows, the little yoke at the collar. I think it's all around a really solid JSK. Next up is the scallop skirt. I love scallop details in Lolita, so surprise, surprise, I love this skirt as well. I think it has just the right amount of detail to make it sort of quintessentially Lolita while still being able to be worn casually. I think it really walks that line well and is super cute. Then we have the double frill skirt. I don't like it quite as much as the scallop skirt, but I do still think it's quite cute. Next up, we have the cutsew. If there was any chance that this would fit me, I would be going after it hard because I love this cutsew. I love that the elements of the print are like blown up on the cutsew. That way you can see them a bit more clearly. I think it's absolutely adorable. Then we have the ribbon headdress, the ribbon hair ties, and the ribbon combs. These are all just the matching accessories for the main pieces, featuring the same printed fabric. I think they're all very cute, and if I owned any of the main pieces, I would definitely want to get my hands on at least one of them. Then we have the tote bag, which has the same artwork as the cutsew. Again, I love this artwork that they've chosen for the cutsew and the tote bag. Honestly, even though I don't yet own a main piece from this series, I would definitely be going after this tote bag if I ever saw it come up secondhand, because I just think it's so cute, and I think it would really work well with sort of any sort of sweet print. Next up is bathing suit A. Bathing suits on the whole are fairly uncommon in Lolita. Not many brands produce them, and not many have been made over the years, but I do think that this one and the other one that Meta made for the series are very cute, and again, if I could fit them, I would definitely consider getting them. This bathing suit A was a bikini, and it came with a top, bottom, and a skirt. It only came in black, and it came in two sizes, which were JP 9 and 11. Then we have bathing suit B, which was a one piece. It was actually two pieces, a top and a bottom, but the top was like, longer, so it looks like a one piece. I really like this one too. I think it's super cute, and I think the ruffles really tie in well to the Lolita aesthetic. It came in the same sizes as the first one, JP 9 and 11, and it also only came in black. And before we move on to our next series, I just wanted to give a little shout out to some of the ads that Meta made for Sweets Collection because I think they are absolutely iconic. Next up, we have a personal favorite. This is Toy Box. I have always thought that this print series was cute, but it wasn't until I saw those little teddy bears having tea and the little witch hat that I became completely sold on this print. I would love to own it someday. This series included one OP, two JSKs, two skirts, one KC, two bags, a bracelet, and a pillow. And it also came in three colorways: black, pink, and off-white. First up is the coat OP. This one was made of cotton and had a velveteen trim. I really like this OP. If there was any chance I could fit it or that I would wear it in this desert, I would definitely consider buying it, but neither of those things are true, so it shall not be mine. All the same, I think this is a lovely OP. I love the collar and the pockets. I think it's so cute. I also want to note that this OP actually had a quilted lining, so it is extra warm. If you live in a very cold place, this might be a good option for you. Next up is the ribbon tiered JSK. I think this JSK is really cute. I love a tiered skirt. It's very simple, but I think it suits the fact that the print is so busy. And I also really love, it's hard to describe, but that sort of shape of sleeves where the sleeves are a bit thicker on the shoulders and sort of cut in a little bit as they attach to the bodice. I think it gives a really elegant feeling. Next up is the high waist JSK. If we're talking just aesthetics, this is my favorite of the two JSKs. I think it's really, really cute. The only reason why I wouldn't personally consider picking up this JSK is because I do have boobs, and high waist and boobs don't typically mix that well. all the same, I think it's really cute. I also wanted to note that the yoke at the collar is detachable, so there is a bit of versatility with this cut. Next up is the tiered skirt. There's not too much going on in terms of the design of this skirt. There's not very many details to it, but I do want to note that this one actually did have a built-in petticoat, so it definitely will add to the poof factor. Then we have the skirt with belt, which is my preferred of the two skirt cuts. This one also came with a built-in petticoat and a faux leather belt. I think it's interesting to note that if you look at these photos, the buckle on each of the belts is different. Well, I shouldn't say all of them are different. White and black have like a circular buckle, whereas pink has a square buckle. I'm going to assume that the buckle we see on the white and black versions is what they used for the final production of these skirts, but I don't know that for certain. If you happen to know, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. Then we have the ribbon headdress, very cute, nice matching KC. If I owned any of the main pieces, I would definitely want the matching KC. Then we have the tote bag, which actually only came in black and off-white, as well as the pouch. The pouch was actually released in 2007, and it similarly only came in black and off-white. I think either of these would be such a fun thing to have in your wardrobe. The tote bag looks really sturdy. I could definitely see myself using it in daily life, and just having a little novelty like that pouch, oh, I would love it. And last but not least is the pillow. To be honest, I might want the pillow more than anything else in this series. I love Lolita pillows, I love little novelties like that, and I just think it's so frilly and cute. This one actually also only came in black and off-white. I don't know if maybe the pink was really popular at release, they ran out of the fabric, but I would die to own either of these pillows. Next up is Ribbon Chandelier. This is a glitter print that I actually really adore. I would love to own any item from this series. I think it is so simple and so pretty. I love bows as a motif. I love chandeliers as a motif. All around, it's excellent to me. This series included a JSK skirt and cutsew, and 4 colorways: Black X Silver, Black X Gold, Black X Pink, and Pink X Red. Alright, first up is the JSK. I really love all 4 colorways. I think they're all super cute. And normally I think I would complain about how simple the cut of this JSK is, but I think that it works in this case because the print is so large. It really allows the print to be the main focus. I also just wanted to share how much I like this cord that Metamorphose made with this JSK. I think it's really, really cute. Then we have the skirt. Again, all 4 colorways are really cute. I love the tulle hem. I love the ribbon belt. I think, again, its simplicity allows the print to shine in a way that I really appreciate. And then lastly, we have the short sleeve cutsew. If there was any chance it would fit me, I would love to own this cutsew. I love that the print is around the neckline rather than like on the front. I think that's such a fun detail. I also love the little bows on the sleeves. I just think this is all around a wonderful cutsew. Next up is Berry Stripe. I really like this series. It's not my favorite of Meta's berry prints. I think there are a lot of berry prints that Meta's produced that are a lot cuter, to be honest. But I enjoy the artwork that they used for this print. It has like a retro advertisement feeling in the way that it's painted, and I just think that's really cute. This series included 2 JSKs, an OP, 2 skirts, and a yukata, and it came in 3 colorways: black, pink, and off-white, as you can see here. First up, we have the sundress. It's aptly named. This is definitely a sundress cut. I think you could definitely wear this in or out of Lolita, which makes it a really nice versatile piece. I love the straps that are sort of like crisscrossing on this JSK. I think that's such a cute little detail, as well as the double bows at the waist. I don't know, I would definitely consider it if I saw it for a good price. Then we have the high waist JSK, which was actually released in 2009 and only came in off-white. I think this is a really lovely cut of the JSK. I don't personally gravitate towards high waist JSKs, like I said earlier, but I do think that this one is quite cute. I really love the ladder lace at the bodice and like the triple bows on the bodice. It's super cute. Next up, we have the short sleeve OP. The original stock photos that you see here are actually not accurate to the final release. The final release looks more like the design document you see in the center. They shortened the sleeves and then added an additional row of shirring to lengthen the bodice for the final release. And it is, of course, a fully shirred OP. I don't know how plus size friendly this OP is. It seems that it is somewhat. The official measurements give a max bust of 92 centimeters, but one owner said that it stretched up to at least 110 for them, so somewhat plus size friendly, if not at least more forgiving than other OPs of the time. Next up, we have the frill skirt, skirt with belt, and yukata. Between the two skirt cuts, I do prefer the frill skirt. I just really love those cuts where there's like a main panel in the center and then there's frills on the side. I love the ladder lace details and the bows. I just think that is so cute. Honestly, if I were to pick up any item from this series, it would probably be the frill skirt. I do want to say, however, that the skirt with belt is very lovely. I love the like daisy buckle on the belt, and I think it definitely work well in or out of Lolita. The yukata is lovely as well, and it came in two sizes, medium and tall. Next up is Marine Stripe. I actually really adore this series. It has a very nostalgic feeling to me. The print artwork really has the feeling of like a children's book that is sailing themed. I just think it's really cute in that way. This series included a JSK and a skirt, and it came in two colorways, pink and blue. It actually features both embroidery and applique details. The Metamorphose that you see written on the skirt is embroidered, while the artwork itself is applique. First up is the JSK, which was fully shirred. I do have some information on how this JSK fits. Somebody in a plus size Lolita Discord that I'm in mentioned that they did own it before and that it was somewhat plus size friendly, but it didn't stretch as far as some of the later Metamorphose full shirring JSKs. I would be interested to buy it personally just because I love this print and I'd be willing to have it altered even if it didn't fit me. But if you have any more information about this JSK, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. Then we have the skirt. I really like the simplicity of this skirt, to be honest. I think it really lets the print shine, and I think that the simplicity works well, like sort of in harmony with the simplicity of the artwork of the print. Next up, we have Velveteen Crown. This series included a JSK and a skirt, and it came in four colorways: black, red, blue, and brown. I think this series is so elegant and lovely. I love the embroidered print. Everything about this screams like royalty to me. First up is the high waist JSK with cape. Although I don't gravitate towards high waist JSKs personally, I do think that this cut is absolutely lovely, and I am weak for anything with a matching cape. I think it is so quintessentially old school and so lovely. It also has a bit of a Christmassy feeling to me, perhaps just because it's made of velvet. I do want to note that it doesn't seem there was a brown colorway for the JSK, but the three colorways that we do have are all lovely. Next, we have the embroidery tuck skirt. Again, it's fairly simple as far as skirts go, but I think that works well for this print. I also wanted to note that it came with a lining and a detachable tulle petticoat, so definitely good value there. And the last series from 2006 is Musical Note Logo. This is yet another iconic print in my eyes. It only included this one skirt, but it did come in four different colorways, which were red tartan, black x white houndstooth, black x off-white, and black x pink. I love all four colorways. I think they're all really cute. Honestly, the black and white houndstooth is probably my favorite, but if I saw any of them for a good price, I would definitely consider it. I should also note that this was a screen printed release, so you can actually see that a little bit better on this close-up. And I love this coordinate that they made using a hoodie with the skirt. I think it gives it a really nice casual feeling, and it shows that this is definitely a versatile piece. It's time for the last year of this video, 2007. To start, we actually have a new version of the homepage to share. I really like this iteration of the homepage. I think it's super cute, and I love that we have the mascots up there front and center. I think the entire design just feels very nostalgic to me. Firstly, if you shop at the Meta website today, you will see that you can sort items by category, but in order to select your colorway and add to cart, you have to click into a particular listing. Whereas in the past, you can actually see all of the colorways of all of the items in a given category listed together with prices and everything, and you can add to cart from that list. I also wanted to note that there's actually a currency converter baked into the website in this version, and that's actually not present today. Next, you can also see items broken up by day of release, which is really neat for archival purposes. It's also really cool to see sort of what items were released in close proximity to each other or at different parts of the year, how Meta's style evolves throughout the year. It's just really cool overall. Alright, first up is Teddy Patissiere. This series included 2 OPs, 2 JSKs, an apron skirt, a skirt, 2 hair accessories, and 2 bags. There were 4 colorways: black, pink, off-white, and Bordeaux. I really love this print. I think it's absolutely adorable. Although it is not technically a Crown Label release, I do want to note that it feels like it would be very home within Crown Label. And I think it has a really nice mixture of the like super sweet Crown Label sensibilities with the old school Meta art style, and I would love to own this print someday. I just think it is so perfect. First up is the OP. I really love this OP. I think it is very old school in terms of like the actual design of the garment, but the print brings it more into like approaching 2010s Sweet Lolita. It's like a really cool fusion of sensibilities. As you can see, the collar and the sleeves were detachable, so there is some versatility there. I think overall this is a really good OP. I probably wouldn't buy it just because, you know, shoulders and that I would need to have it altered, but I do really love the design. Next up is the sleeve JSK. This one was released in 2008. It only came in Bordeaux and was a Shinjuku shop limited release. This one appeared in coordinate number 108, and it was a part of a set, but I can't really tell what other items were included in the set. I couldn't find a place that listed the other items. I do want to note that it was fully shirred, so potentially plus size friendly. If anyone owns this and knows how it fits, again, please let us know in the comments. I think it's really, really cute. Unfortunately, Bordeaux is my least favorite colorway of this print, so I would have to think long and hard about whether or not I would want to go for this one. If it came in literally any other colorway, I would be all over it. Next up is the JSK. I adore this JSK. I think it is absolutely adorable. The yoke, shoulder frills, and belt were all detachable, so you could definitely style it in multiple different ways. I think when you have the bows and the shoulder frills and like the yoke all removed, and you just leave the belt on, as you can see with the off-white colorway, it definitely has more of a like 1950s, 1960s feeling to it. But when you have all of the other pieces attached, it definitely goes full hard mode Lolita. It's so frilly and cute. I would love to own this JSK. I think it's really, really nice. Then we have the high waist JSK, another really cute JSK design. It's definitely a lot simpler than the standard JSK, but definitely still cute. High waist JSKs, like I've said before, are not necessarily for me, but I do think that if you have a small bust, it would look really cute on you. And then we have the high waist JSK. This one is definitely more simple, but I think it is still quite cute. I really enjoy the like double bows right at the shoulder straps. I think that has a really cute impression. And although I'm not partial to high waist JSKs, I do like this design overall. Then we have the apron skirt, which is actually two items, an apron and a skirt. The border print is actually on the apron portion, whereas the skirt underneath has the like all over portion of the print. It also came with a little like rosette bow clip that is super cute. If not for my aversion to heart shapes, I would be all over this cut. I think it is really great value because of how versatile it is. And again, if not for my aversion to hearts, I would really love this. It's the only thing I don't like about it, but in concept, it's very cute to me. And our last main piece is the skirt. Funny story. As I was recording voiceover for this video, I noticed that I had failed to include this skirt, so I had to hastily add it back in. So here it is now. I think this is a really cute skirt. I love skirts that have a bit more design to them than the like standard rectangle of fabric that you see with a lot of Meta's simpler skirts, so I appreciate that for that reason. If I ever saw this for a good price, I would definitely consider picking it up. Then we have our hair accessories, which were the two-way brooch and hair comb and the ribbon headdress with lace. The two-way brooch and hair comb has more or less the same design as the rosette that came with the apron skirt. It's just missing the like ribbon tails of the rosette. I really love that ribbon comb, so if I ever owned a main piece from this series, I would definitely be going after it. I'm just a sucker for a little embroidered patch. And the ribbon headdress is also very cute. Again, if I owned a main piece, I would definitely want it. And last but not least are our bags, the tote bag and the bag. The tote bag was actually released in 2009 and only came in black and pink, whereas the bag was released with the rest of the series in 2007. It came with a detachable ribbon and brooch and had a little pocket inside as well as feet at the bottom of the bag. I think they're both very cute. If I ever saw either of them, I would definitely try to grab them. And before we move on to the next series, I just wanted to shout out some of the super cute advertising photos that Meta put out for this series. I think all of the coordinates featured are super cute. Next up is swan embroidery. This series included 1 JSK, 2 skirts, 2 tops, and 4 bags. The main pieces had 5 colorways, which were black, green tartan, off-white, pink, and red tartan. I adore this print. I love embroidery prints in general, and I think that the actual design of this embroidery is so elegant and lovely. Even though it's pretty simple, it really has impact still, and I just adore every colorway of this release. Alright, first up is the JSK itself. You can see all 5 colorways here. I think they've done a really nice job with lace choice for all of the colorways. I think they all look equally lovely, and the lace itself actually looks very nice and like luxurious. I would love to own any of these JSKs. I think they're all so elegant and nice. I think the tartan colorways kind of lend themselves to a holiday feeling, but the solid ones could definitely be worn year-round. Then we have the skirt. The tartan and solid colorways were listed separately for some reason, unlike the JSK, but you can see all of them here regardless. Similar to the JSK, I think the lace choice is very nice for each colorway. I think they're all very lovely. Although the cut of the skirt is very simple, because the embroidery is so prominent on the skirts, I think they still have great impact, and I would love to own any of them. Next up is one of my personal favorite items from Meta's catalog, the trumpet sleeve cutsew. It came in black, white, and pink, and everything about it is perfect to me. The concept of having a comfy hime sleeve blouse is deeply appealing to me, and I am begging Lolita brands of today to make something like this again, because I've never seen anything like it except for in this instance, and I think it's just absolutely perfect. If there was any chance I could fit into it, I would be all over it. Next up is another unusual item in Meta's catalog, the tube top. You definitely don't see tube tops in Lolita very often, but honestly, I would love to see somebody make a coordinate with one. I think that would be so iconic. I honestly really enjoy them, and I sort of feel like they would be easier to alter than the other Cutso, so if I ever did see one come up, I honestly might consider it. Next up is the first of our 4 bags. Firstly, the bag came in 2 different versions, one made of faux leather and one made of canvas, and it came in black, off-white, and red. And then the lesson bag came in black, white, and brown. I'm not entirely sure that the lesson bag is from the same collection, but because the embroidery is so similar, I'm just going to assume that it was intended to be. I like both of these bags. If I saw either of them pop up secondhand, I would definitely consider going after them because they're both really nice, versatile bags to have in your collection. In my opinion, swans go with every meta print just because it's meta, so because I wear meta so often, I would definitely get a lot of use out of either of them. And then we have the round bag and the round pochette. I love both of these so much. I would genuinely give almost anything to have either of them. They both came in black X gold, black X black, white, and pink. And the main difference between the two of them is the style of strap, where the pochette has a longer shoulder strap and the round bag has a shorter handbag style strap. I would take either of them. I think they're both so cute and so versatile, and I just really want to get my hands on them. Next up, we have Teddy Motors, which is one of my all-time favorite meta series. I would love to own an item from this series. I think it is so iconic. I mean, it really doesn't get any better than a Teddy mechanic. I mean, look at him. He's off to do his job. It's so cute. This series included a jumpsuit, a skirt, a coat, a parka, and a cutso, and all of the main pieces were made of denim. First up is the jumpsuit, which is so iconic. I don't think I would ever fit into it, but I would love to see it in person someday. It came in navy, black, and pink, and came in 2 different sizes, medium and tall. The longer sleeves were detachable, and I see in my notes here that I've just written cool as hell, which is correct. I really love this jumpsuit. I love everything about it. I love the patch on the sleeve. I just when I see this, the image that comes to my mind is of a Lolita derby, and this is the pit crew, you know? Then we have what is arguably the coolest thing I've ever seen, certainly the coolest item in this series in my opinion, the jumpsuit style coat OP. It came in black, khaki, and navy, and was quilted on the inside. It also featured detachable sleeves similar to the jumpsuit. I adore everything about this OP. If it was simple to alter, if I could rationalize some way in which it would make sense for me to own it, I'm pretty sure I would already own it because I would have stopped at nothing to get it. I just love everything about this OP, and if you own it, I would love to see your cords. Next up is the heart skirt with logo patch. It came in navy, black, and pink, same as the jumpsuit. I normally would be talking about my aversion to heart shapes, but I actually don't mind it so much in this design. Maybe because it's not a really big player in the design itself. I just think this is a really cute casual piece that could be corded in or out of Lolita and in a lot of different ways. I like a lot of the coordinates that you see Meta make with this skirt. You can see some of them here. I just think it has a really nice, comfortable feeling to it, and I also like that it still ties into the rest of the series with that little patch on the skirt. Overall, just a good solid release. Oh, I should also note that the straps and the belt were detachable. Then we have the parka, which is absolutely adorable. Like I've said time and time again, if I could fit it, I would own it because I wouldn't have rested until I had it. This parka is perfect. I love it. I love everything about it. It's absolutely adorable. It came in black, red, and gray, and I would take any of them. Like, it simply doesn't get better than this. And lastly is the Cutso, which is another excellent release. I mean, it's all 10s across the board when it comes to Teddy Motors. It came in black, pink, and red, and was all around adorable. Like, I don't even know what else to say. It's perfect. It's a Cutso with a mechanic Teddy on it. What more do you want? There were 4 colorways, which were black, pink, blue, and lavender. All around, I love this series. I think it's gorgeous. I really love the print artwork. I love this style of rendering fruit where it sort of seems like it's come out of a retro food advertisement. That's the best way I have to describe it. I just think it's really lovely. It definitely has a nostalgic feel. I think this print would work well for regular sweet, for country, for retro kitschy chords. It's so versatile and lovely. Although I really adore the print itself, what has really sold me on this series is the cut of the garments themselves, so we'll get into that. First up is the high waist JSK. I absolutely adore First up we have the high waist JSK from 2007. This cut I think is absolutely adorable, and although it's labeled as high waist, it's not that high waist. I think it definitely could be altered to suit someone with a larger bust because the bodice isn't that short. I think you could get away with some trickery regarding the shoulder straps. All around, I think that this dress cut is lovely. I love the double bows on the bodice. I love the yoke. I love the sort of overlay of the skirt with a ruffle underneath. Top to bottom, this is lovely. I also wanted to note that the yoke and the trim were both detachable, so there is a bit of versatility in terms of how you can style this dress. First up, we have the 2007 high waist JSK. I love this cut, although I've said multiple times that I'm not very partial to high waist cuts. This one actually doesn't feel that high-waisted to me, just judging by proportions. I kind of think that through alterations you could make it work for someone with a larger bust, but I haven't actually seen the dress in person, so don't take my word for it. But overall, I think the design of this dress is really lovely. I love the double bows on the bodice. I love the underskirt and overskirt sort of combination. I love the yoke. Everything about it is super cute to me. I did want to note that the yoke and trim are both detachable. That way you can style it in multiple different ways. Good versatility there. Next up is the high waist JSK from 2009. I adore this cut. It's a real shame that it only came in pink because I would love to see it in the other colorways. I just think the cut itself is so lovely. I love those types of necklines where it's like a solid color fabric right at the top, sort of around the neckline, which this one obviously has. I love the pearl details on the bodice and the big bow right on one side. All around, I think this is a definite win. To be honest, even though it is pretty severely high-waisted, I think if I ever saw it for a good price, I probably would pick it up and see if I could figure out a way to alter it and make it work for me. Next up is the ladder lace JSK. This is a really simple design JSK, but I think that really works for this print. I mentioned earlier that I feel like this print can be corded in a lot of different ways, and I think this particular JSK leans very heavily into country. I think the ladder lace details definitely give it a more rustic feeling, and I could see people making a lot of different cords with this style of JSK. It's not the most exciting, but it's still very lovely. Next up is the ladder lace JSK. This one is fairly simple, but even so I think it has some really nice details once you get up close to it, and I can definitely see that because it's so simple you could cord it in a lot of different ways. Compared to the other JSK cuts so far that have leaned very heavily into the sweeter or more retro feeling, This one I feel really leans into the country feeling of this print, so I really appreciate it in that sense. This is what I mean by you sort of get a better appreciation for it once you see it corded or once you see the details. I really love both of these skirts that Metamorphose made for this release. I think it really shows the versatility of this JSK, and I'm just a sucker for ladder lace. We all know this. Next up we have the Shirring JSK, which is honestly bordering on a dream print for me. Part of it is because I really enjoy the multiple bows across the neckline and down the bodice. I love those types of like thinner ribbon bows. I think they're really dainty and cute. But also I do have verification from multiple sources that this is actually quite plus size friendly. I've spoken with 2 people who own this JSK and they both vouch that it goes up to about 140 centimeters in the bust. So that is definitely a win. I know that the bodice is quite short. I actually own some other string JSKs from Meta that have a similar cut, and I was able to sort of work with them by extending the shoulder straps, so I wouldn't worry too much in that regard. But I would absolutely love to own this JSK. If I ever saw it come up, even for not that great of a price, I would probably consider getting it. Oh, I should also note that this one, unlike many other string JSKs, actually has a built-in petticoat. I also want to show off the details of this JSK, the bows that I mentioned earlier. I just think they're so cute. I also think that the lace they used looks really nice and soft. Additionally, I also wanted to shout out this cord that Meta made to promote this release. It is so cute. Next up is the short sleeve OP. I really like this cut. Even though it is fairly simple, it's also quite versatile. I can definitely see this being corded in a more traditionally sweet way or in a more country sweet kind of way. I should also mention that this cut featured a built-in petticoat as well, so definitely good proof potential there. Once you see the bodice up close, you really get a sense for how pretty it is. I love the square neckline. I love the lace-up bodice. Everything about this cut is just really cute to me. Next up is the skirt with belt. The belt was, of course, detachable. Of all of the main pieces in this series, I think this one has the most of a retro feeling. I think any of Meta's skirts with buckles definitely kind of have that feeling innately based on the buckle itself, but I really enjoy this skirt. I don't know that I would personally buy it just because there is another skirt in the series that I think would be easier for me to alter, but I do think it is quite cute. Next up is the tiered skirt. I really like this skirt. It features the sort of all over portion of the print rather than the border print, which means that it's a bit more toned down, and you could definitely wear this outside of Lolita, although it definitely still has a Lolita feeling because of the tiers and the lace detail. I love the shape of tiered skirts. I just think the sort of easy curve of it is very elegant, and overall great skirt release. Next up is one of my favorite parts of this series, the 2009 mini skirt set. This set was released to commemorate the opening of the Yokohama store, and it was only sold like in person at the store. It included the skirt, bloomers, socks, and a pair of sandals. You could choose your size and preferred colorway of the sandals, which came in solid black, black gingham, and pink. The white socks went with the blue colorway, and the black socks went with the black colorway. I actually really like this set. I think it's really good value, to be honest. And funnily enough, I actually saw a pair of the sandals on sale at Wonderwelt earlier today, the day of recording. I doubt they'll still be available at the time that this video comes out, or if you're watching this in the future, it's probably not still there. But I do think it's interesting to have seen it come up while I was doing this recording process. The skirt itself is fully shirred. I don't know how far it stretches, but historically, that is fully shirred skirts have been somewhat plus size friendly, usually going up to about 110 centimeters. I can't personally vouch for this skirt because I don't own it, but if you have any information, please let us know. Then we have the bathing suit. It only came in black and in pink and was released in Japanese sizes 9 and 11. I don't think I would pick it up because no chance in hell it would fit me, but I do think that it's absolutely adorable. I love the bow details. I love that there's like a skirt to wear over the bottoms. Just everything about it is super adorable. Then we have our hair accessories, the hat and the ribbon headdress. I think both of them are super cute, but to be quite honest, I would most want to own the hat. Lolita hats are so rare and hard to come by these days, and I just think it's absolutely adorable. I love that big bow on the side and the fact that you can tie the ribbon under your chin. All around adorable. And last but not least, we have the bag. I've actually seen this bag come up quite a few times secondhand. I definitely would consider buying it if I ever owned one of the main pieces. It just looks like a really nice, solid, sturdy bag. Not too much to say about it, but you know, good design. And before we move on to the next series, I just want to show the cover of the 2007 summer lookbook that Meta released. It featured this print series, and I think this photo is so cute. Next up, we have the Legend telephone print. This was a screen printed release that is super cute. It features our darling mascots Punkuma and Rabbit Chung talking on the telephone, spreading some goss. I love this print. I don't know that I personally would own it just because I'm not sure that I would be able to cord it well, but I do love it a lot, and I hope I get to see it in person someday. This series included one JSK, one skirt, and a cut-sew. The three colorways were black, pink, and blue, and all of the main pieces were made of denim. First up, we have the salopette style JSK. I think that although I'm not usually into suspender skirts, this one is quite cute. I love the double bows and the triple buttons up the waist. I love the lace they used. All around, definitely a solid cut. Then we have the skirt with brooch, which is honestly my preferred of the two skirts. I love pom-pom trim. I love the satin ribbon at the trim. I love the little brooch with the little embroidery patch. Ugh, all around, it's just so cute. And then we have the cut-sew. I love this cut-sew so much. I think it is absolutely adorable. I love all three colorways, and if there's any chance they could fit me, I would love to own them. It was hard to see in the previous photos, but on either sleeve there's Rabbit Chung or Punkuma. I think that's such a cute little detail, and I love that the print on the chest is sort of enclosed by telephone wire. I think that's a really fun detail. I also just wanted to call attention to these lovely coordinates that Metamorphose made to promote this series. I think they're both very meta and also very cute. Next up, we have musical note embroidery. This series came in 5 different colorways, which were off-white x pink, red x black, off-white x black, gray x black, and ivory x brown. As you can see, it was an embroidered print, and I think that this print is so lovely. I love musical note prints, but I feel like this one has sort of a magical, whimsical sort of feeling to it that I really enjoy. It was actually a JSK set, which included the JSK socks, a bracelet, and a necklace. You can see 4 of the colorways of the JSK here. I unfortunately couldn't find the ivory and brown colorway anywhere, so we'll have to use our imaginations there. I really like all of the colorways that we can see though. I think honestly the white and black and the white and pink might be my favorite. They just have a sort of classic feeling to them. I don't know quite how to describe it, but I think they're all quite cute. Here you can see the socks that came with the set. Meta is definitely known for their striped socks, and I think these ones are very cute. I think that you could definitely pair these with a lot of different musical note prints because they're not overly designed. They just have a nice little nod to the theme. Next up, we have cat print. This series included 2 JSKs, a skirt, a cut-sew, and a bag, and was a screen print. There were 3 colorways, red, green, and gray. This series I absolutely adore. It has a very particular sense of nostalgia to me because it reminds me of something from my childhood. I did Girl Scouts for 13 years, and one year in the early to mid 2000s, there was like, they give out prizes for selling Girl Scout cookies, and one year the theme for the prizes was like spy gadgets, and a lot of them were cat themed, and the cats from those prizes remind me of this print artwork. I don't know why my brain connects it that way, but it just really takes me back, and I would love to own pretty much anything from this series. First up is the JSK. Some listings suggest that it might have had a built-in petticoat, but I couldn't quite verify that, so if you happen to own this JSK and could tell us more, I'd appreciate it. Overall, though, I really like the cut of this JSK. It's quite unique. I like the sort of 3-ribbon waistband with the little mini bows. I love that style of bodice, or neckline rather, where it sort of overlaps the straps with lace. I think that's quite cute. Overall, I think these are really, really nice, and I'd take any of them. Then we have the skirt, which is equally lovely in my eyes. I just love this cut of the skirt. I love the ribbon trim, I love the frill, I love the bows. Everything about it is super cute. It's also worth noting that where the JSK only had the print sort of in the lower corner of the dress, it's all over on the skirt, which is an interesting difference. Next we have the Cutso, which came in black, navy, and red. I think this is a really cute Cutso. I wish that the print were a teensy bit smaller on the Cutso itself, but I still think it's quite cute. And lastly is the tote bag, which I would buy in a heartbeat. I've never seen it come up secondhand, but if I ever do see it, and I am on the lookout, I'm definitely going after it. Next up, we have a personal favorite series for me, Thumbelina. This series included a skirt and t-shirt, and it came in lavender and gray. My personal gripe with this series is that I feel like there aren't enough pieces for it. I think we were robbed of a Thumbelina JSK. I think we were robbed of a Thumbelina OP. I think it absolutely deserves a re-release. I think this print is absolutely gorgeous. As you can see here, it was a screen print, and I just love everything about it. I think it's so whimsical and lovely, and I wish we got more from this series. First up is the skirt, which is very simple but very cute. I think that the simplicity of the skirt really allows the elaborate print to shine, so I don't really mind it. I love the lace they used, I love the ribbon trim, I love this so much. If I ever saw it come up secondhand, you know I'm going after it. Next we have the t-shirt, which came in black, pink, sax, and gray. It also features the lovely elaborate Thumbelina print. I would love to own this if I thought it would ever fit me. Honestly, I would consider going to the lengths of altering a t-shirt, perhaps, if I ever saw it come up secondhand, because I just love this print that much. All around, an absolute win. Next up, we have Vintage Poodle. This series included 2 JSKs, 1 OP, 2 skirts, 1 head accessory, and 2 bags. And it came in 3 colorways, black, pink, and off-white. I really like this series. I'm a sucker for a dog print. I'm especially a sucker for a poodle print because I grew up with a poodle, and I just think it's very cute. It definitely leans into the retro aspect of Lolita, and I would love to own any colorway, to be honest. First up, we have the Tier JSK. This cut definitely leans into the retro theming with the belt buckle and the collar, both of which are removable. I really like this cut. It almost feels like something a school teacher would wear to me, but in a very cute way. Next is the high waist JSK. Although I am not partial to high waist JSKs, I do really love the cut of this dress and the details included. I love the ribbon waistband, I love the frills at the bottom. I particularly love the collar and the pearl chain, both of which are removable, so there's some good versatility there. All around, I think this is exceptionally cute. Then we have the circular skirt, which definitely leans into the poodle skirt aesthetic. I could definitely see someone wearing this outside of Lolita in like a rockabilly kind of way. The tulle trim at the bottom is actually removable, so it can become even less Lolita if you so desire. Then we have the double frill skirt, which is my preferred of the two skirt cuts. I think that it's absolutely adorable. I love the ruffle and the bows at the hem. I love a good frill at the bottom of the skirt. It's simple, but it's undeniably Lolita, and it's very cute. Then we have the ribbon headdress. It's a very similar design to Meta's other ribbon headdresses, but if I ever owned one of the main pieces, I would definitely want to go after it. Then we have the bag, which is a very similar design to other bags we've seen previously. It looks very sturdy, very good for daily use. If I ever owned a main piece, I would definitely go after it. And lastly, we have a sort of unique item, the cart, which is a sort of rolling suitcase style bag. I have honestly never seen anything like it in Lolita. And to be quite honest, if I ever saw it come up secondhand, I would try to buy it purely for the novelty. I don't know how useful it would be in my life, but I do kind of feel a need to own it. And before we move on, another shout out to the lovely advertisement photos that Meta put out for this series. I think they are so cute. Next up, we have another iconic print, a personal favorite of mine, the Apple series. This series included 2 JSKs, 1 OP, 2 skirts, 1 cardigan, 1 cutsew, 2 hair accessories, 2 types of socks, and 3 types of jewelry. All of the main pieces were made of corduroy, and there were 4 colorways: black, pink, navy, and white. I would give anything to own anything from this series. It is so special and so iconic, and I love it so much. Next up is Apple, which is an iconic series and one of my personal favorites. This series included 2 JSKs, 1 OP, 2 skirts, 1 cardigan, 1 cutsew, 2 hair accessories, 2 types of socks, and 3 types of jewelry. The main pieces were all made of corduroy, and they came in 4 colorways, which were black, pink, navy, and white. You can see all 4 colorways here in their glory. I would give anything to own anything from this series. Any colorway, I don't care. I think they're all adorable. This first JSK, the JSK with collar, is probably my favorite item in the entire series. It definitely has a vintage feeling to me, similar to the first JSK from Vintage Poodle. It has a sort of school teacher feeling to me as well, but I really enjoy that. If you look closely, the belt on this JSK is actually shaped like an apple, and you can see another apple embroidered on the collar of the JSK. I just think it's so cute. I love the little details of this JSK. I should also mention that it did have a built-in petticoat and that the collar and belt were both removable. Next up is the Shirring Tiered JSK. I am personally very interested in owning this cut just because I might be able to fit it without alteration, and because I think it is quite cute. I love the double ribbons at the shoulder straps and at the waist, and I am always a sucker for a tiered skirt. One person on Low Library said that they had owned it and that it stretched up to 114 centimeters in the bust at least. This is just my own amateur guesstimation math, but the minimum bust measurement given for this JSK is 85 centimeters in the bust, and I own multiple other Meta full shirring JSKs that have that same base measurement, and in my experience they stretch up to around 130 to 140 centimeters in the bust. I don't own this JSK, so I can't personally vouch to that, but that would be sort of my estimation and why I would be interested in purchasing it. If you have owned this JSK and have any information about how far it stretches, I would love to know, not just for this video, but for personal interest. Next up is the scallop switching JSK. I absolutely adore this cut. I think it is so stinking cute. I love the contrasting fabric used on the scallop hem and on the waist bow. I love the double bows. I just love everything about this cut. I love the gingham buttons. It's so cute, and it's also worth mentioning that the apple buckle makes a return on the waist bow here. Just top to bottom, an absolute win. I would definitely consider purchasing this, even if I had to get it altered, just because it's that adorable. Next up is the skirt with ribbon. I really like this skirt. I could definitely see it being corded in or out of Lolita. It's very casual, but definitely still has Lolita sensibilities. It's worth noting that this skirt actually has 4 separate pockets, which is like 4 more than most dresses get. So definitely good utilitarian advantage there. The belt is also removable. Then we have the frill skirt, which is definitely more of a traditional Lolita skirt. Same belt as the previous one, which is also removable. I really like this skirt mainly because I really like apple print. If I ever saw it for a good price, I would definitely consider it. There's not too much to say here because it is a fairly simple skirt, but it's still pretty cute. Then we have the embroidery cardigan, which came in black, pink, and off-white. I wish that there was some universe where this would fit my shoulders, but alas, there is not. It's so stinking cute. I love the embroidery. I love the little rhinestone details. I love the crystal buttons. I just think top to bottom, great cardigan. Next up is the embroidery cutso, which in my opinion is even cuter. I love the big buttons, I love the big collar and the ruffles right by the collar. Everything about this cutso is absolutely adorable. I would love to own it. It's not going to happen for me, but I sure hope that if any of you fall in love with this cutso like I have, that you're able to find it someday because it's so worth it. Then we have our hair accessories, the ribbon headdress and the ribbon barrette. I think both are very cute. If I ever have the honor of owning a main piece from this series, I'd want either of them. I especially like the barrette though because it does have that little apple-shaped buckle, which just takes it over the edge a little bit for me. Next we have the embroidery knee socks, which were released in 2008. I think these are great basic socks. They definitely tie into the apple theme, but you could definitely wear them with other prints because they're not overly designed. Then we have the OTKs. They are a little bit more tied to the print itself compared to the knee socks, but they're still fairly simple and I think you could potentially pair them with other prints. Then we have the jewelry from this series, which were a pair of earrings, a necklace, and a bracelet. I'm going to be real with you. If you ever come up against me in an auction for any of these pieces of jewelry, or really any item for this series, it's a fight to the death. I'm not giving up on these ones. They're so cute. I would love to own any of them. Just perfection. And before we move on, I just wanted to shout out yet another excellent advertisement for this series. This is so cute. Next up, we have the Crown Cross series, which included 2 JSKs, 1 OP, 2 skirts, 1 blouse, and 1 KC. It came in 3 colorways, black, pink, and off-white. I love this series. I think it's so elegant and beautiful, but honestly, I don't know if I would ever personally own it just because when I look at it, I sort of feel like I'm not elegant or fancy enough for this. I don't know that I'd be able to do it justice, but I do think it is quite lovely. First up is the lace-up JSK, which is just absolutely gorgeous. It's fairly simple in its construction, but it definitely has a very elegant impression. I love the lace-up bodice, and I love the sort of trail of ribbon that goes down from the shoulder strap and through to the skirt, which is sort of like surrounded by lace. I think that's an excellent detail, and I also really love this coordinate that Metamorphose staff made with it. Next up, we have the shirring JSK. This one is potentially plus size friendly. The base measurement is 84 centimeters, which usually indicates that it stretches quite far, but obviously I can't vouch for that, so if you have any information, please let us know. Normally, shirring JSKs have a more casual feeling to them than other JSK cuts, but the tiered skirt combined with like the lavishness of this print really give it an elegant feeling. Like, look at this coordinate. Even though she's wearing striped socks, she looks so fancy. I honestly might have to get over my intimidation by this print if I ever saw this come up secondhand because it is very lovely. Next, we have the side frill OP, which is one of the most gorgeous dresses I've ever seen in Lolita. I love the bows all throughout the dress. I love the frills. I love everything about the cut of this dress. It has definitely a very historical feeling, definitely ties into the Rococo roots of Lolita itself. It is just top to bottom absolutely gorgeous. I mean, look at this coordinate that the Metamorphose staff made with it. It is just the pinnacle of elegance to me. Next is the tiered skirt, which is probably the most casual of any item in this series. Even then, it still has a very elegant impression. This skirt may be fully shirred. I couldn't find verification on that, so if you happen to know, I would like to know. If I ever saw this come up for a good price, I honestly might consider it if it is truly fully shirred, just because it'd be fairly easy to alter. And then we have the bustle skirt, which is honestly my preferred of the two skirt cuts. I just think it is absolutely gorgeous. It too kind of has a very Rococo feeling to it. And I mean, who can say no to a bustle? It's absolutely adorable. And I love that there's both sort of a fabric bustle on top and then like a tulle bustle below. Definitely has a nice impression. Then we have the blouse, which you can see here paired with the bustle skirt. I really like this blouse. I think it pairs so well with the bustle skirt. It almost looks like an OP when they're styled together. I love the ribbons down the bodice, and I love the sort of tulle overlay over the print on the front of the bodice. It kind of breaks up the print in a very nice way. All around great blouse. Then we have the ribbon headdress, which is very similar to other ribbon headdresses for other series. If I ever owned a piece from this series, I would definitely consider picking it up. And it's time for the last series of 2007 and of this video. We are ending on a very high note because this is another personal favorite print for me, Happy Cake. This is a screen printed release. It came with one JSK, one skirt, one t-shirt, one parka, an umbrella, and a drawstring bag. And it came in and closing out this video, and we finally come to the last item. And we finally come to the last series of 2007 and of this video, Happy Cake. This is definitely ending things on a high note because it is a personal favorite of mine. Happy Cake is so adorable. I actually saw someone make a coordinate using this print recently. I believe their Instagram handle is Trouble in the Message Center. I will fact check that and put their @ on screen. And it's finally time for the last series of 2007 and of this video. We're definitely ending things on a high note with Happy Cake. I adore this series. I think it is so cute and I would absolutely love to own it someday. This series included one JSK, one skirt, one t-shirt, one parka, an umbrella, and a drawstring bag. And this series actually features multiple print styles. So you can see here the screen printed style. There's also pieces in the series that are embroidery prints. The actual illustration is the same, but the way that they've applied it to the fabric varies depending on the main piece, which I think is a really neat detail. First up, we have the embroidery JSK. It's embroidered as the name suggests, and it came in black, red, and lavender. Lavender is probably my favorite, but if I saw any of them come up secondhand, I would definitely go after them. I think this JSK is so lovely. I love the big cotton lace at the end. I love the huge satin ribbon at the waist. I love the collar. It's just very simple and cute, and I could definitely see myself wearing this for many birthdays to come. Then we have the skirt, which was the screen printed version of the artwork. I honestly do kind of prefer the skirt just because I think the print really stands out when it's done in contrasting colors to the based fabric as opposed to the embroidery. I just think it really comes to life and it's so adorable. I also think that all of the colorways are really, really fun. They're very cheerful and definitely have a birthday feeling in that sense. I would love to own any of them. If any of them came up secondhand, I would snap them up in a heartbeat. Then we have the short sleeve t-shirt, which came in the same colorways as the skirt and had the same screen printing style. I think these t-shirts are adorable. If there was any chance they would fit me, I would already own them because I would have not rested until I had one. It's so, so, so cute. I love the lace at the sleeves. I love the round neckline. Just everything about it is adorable. Then we have the parka, which is equally cute, also screen printed. This one also came in black, pink, and sax, and it's, again, just so adorable. If it would fit me, I would love to own it. Then we have the umbrella, which came in black and in white. I think it is so cute, and it's another item from this series that I would absolutely love to own. I love Meta's parasols. They're really good quality. I own a couple of them, and they've held up for a really long time very nicely, and I just would love to add this to my collection. And lastly, we have the drawstring backpack, which came in black, pink, and sax, similar to the skirt, and was also screen printed. If I ever saw this come up secondhand, I would buy it without thinking. I love this print. I would love to own a little baggie with the print on it. It's super cute. And it's time to wrap things up. Thank you so much for watching. I'm really sorry that this took so long for me to finish. I'm hoping that I'll be able to get part 3 out sooner than 9 months like this one took. Part 3 is going to cover 2008 to 2010, which are probably my absolute favorite years for the brand, so I hope you look forward to it. There are 7 parts planned covering releases up to 2022. Future parts are going to cover fewer years as there's going to be more releases covered within those years. As always, there's no firm release schedule, but I'm going to do my best. Fingers crossed. Alright, that is it. Thank you so much for watching. I'd love to hear what your favorite series was, or if you have any additional information, anything you'd like to share, I'd love to hear it. Thank you. Bye.